Hey, Hannah here. Welcome to Hannah's Crafty channel. This is a dresser from a family member to my daughter. My daughter wanted me to restore it for her and leave it as plain as possible, like a plain wood dresser. And I'm under the assumption that it was just painted over and over again, but it's like this vintage dresser that may have some really pretty wood underneath. So I had to maybe just strip it, use my sander, and just kind of see what's underneath. But I did stop and kind of use the sander really quick just to kind of peek at what's there. I did remove the handles, which was painted onto the dresser, and when I pulled them off, it ripped off some of the paint. But I just kind of wanted to see what I was, what's underneath there, so that I can plan out what I'm doing. Okay, this was after after I used clean strip, and I'm sorry, but it just didn't do so well. And at this point, I'm a little frustrated, feeling like this is just the beginning. And then I'm using this paint scraper, which it seems to work for everyone else when I watch them do it, but for me, I thought it was essentially a waste of time. But sometimes I just use it and think about what I'm going to do next. Yeah. This piece was a long time coming. I actually started this back in July. I was working on this. My daughter was moving in August and the very beginning of August, so I was trying to get this piece worked on, and I really think I only had about 2 weeks, and I work a full-time job, so this was basically the evenings and the weekends. So I was, I guess, under a lot of pressure to get it done, and this is, I guess you can say, day one of me working on it. Just working on the top, I think, was all I did for day one. But I did test out the paint scraper here and there, and it's, ugh. You can see, I don't know why I bothered with it. It was such, I mean, the paint in some parts looked like it wanted to come off, but it was still very, very trying. And you can see there's a gash in the veneer that will need to be filled in. Honestly, I was kind of losing hope from the very beginning because the dresser just looked like it was just a lot of damage on there. But I switched up to clean strip, and I think I'm finishing up a bottle here, but I had my daughter buy a bottle because I need her to invest in this project if she wanted me to do it. Clean strip is very, very, I mean, not clean strip. Yeah, this is clean strip. I'm sorry. I'm getting them mixed up. This one is the stronger version of it. And you can see, I think it's clean strip. The other one was citrus strip. Citrus strip was the first one that was like pink. And this one is clean strip, and it's very, very strong. You definitely need a mask. You can't play your games with that. You need a mask, you need gloves. It's very, very strong. But there's a reason why it's strong. Like, almost instantly, it'll get this stuff off. It'll tell you it's like a 14-minute, 15-minute wait or something. And the other one will tell you half an hour wait. But this is just much more effective. But with all strippers, it's just a lot of mess, a lot of cleaning. All the rags and stuff that you use is essentially trash. Throw them all out. I believe I sped ahead to the other side because they're essentially the same thing. So I showed you one side beginning, and now I'm showing you the end of the other side. This is after I stripped it and washed it off, and then I said, let me just scrape. This is a good time to scrape it. You scrape what you can and then rinse that off, and then you can sand after it dries. There are some redeeming parts of this piece, even though the veneer is cracked in a lot of places and not looking so pretty in certain places. The front part where the legs are and the back part of the legs are solid wood, and I knew that those would definitely stand out. So now I'm giving it like a final kind of wash before I move on to just sanding it. I was essentially just grabbing any kind of tool to try to get these things off. It's just a lot. At the time, I didn't have a soft sander, so it was a lot of work getting around the curves. It took some time to get this whole thing clear. I was going through a lot of sanding pads. I was using 80 grit, but I decided to keep using them until they were like done until I can only, I usually use them after that. I rip them off and put it in my hand to kind of get through the little corners and crevices. So I thought this was a good time to put the Bondo on the top of the dresser for the veneer, especially since I probably was done for the evening and this will be a good time for it to get dry. I would tell you the dress would probably look totally different if it wasn't for this big gash. I thought about lifting and taking that off, but I think it looked like it needed a filler, so I changed my mind. I didn't want a whole, had to fill the whole back, and that would have been a whole mess. And so the handles that came with it was cute, but some were missing and broken, and I guess at first I just said I have to fill them, which honestly was a mistake because I probably could have measured the holes and gotten new ones for that, because I did put new ones on there. But as you see, this is the front of the drawers, the top drawer, and you can see the veneer is not something I could leave plain. I'm not even sure what this is that they put on there, but this design was definitely meant to be, I guess, painted over. So I talked to my daughter and I told her that I would definitely have to paint the top drawers. They were in no condition to be natural. She was okay with that. I just wish she picked a different color than she picked, which left me less excited about doing this piece, because it was for her, it wasn't for me, so it was her taste, and I just felt like it would look better if it was my taste. But it wasn't for me, it wasn't for sale, so I was just doing what she wanted me to do. And so the idea was to paint what needed to be covered up from what I got from her. So this is pretty the easy part, just kind of sanding it down. I did notice that the line trim around some of it was, well, it carried a lot of paint, but it also was missing. If you could look at the other drawer that I'm not working on to the left, it's missing on some parts, but some parts have it. So of course they have to match, and so I figured let me just take them out. Of course, it left little sticks, pins, or something that they used that were inside of it that had to be taken out too. I don't think I have that on camera, but I'm just showing you how one piece is missing. And so I think all of them should look alike. They're missing on some of them. And so it's time to rewash the piece. I think I didn't wash it. I think I just stripped it. So now that everything's clean and clear, I have to just get all the dust off and rewash it and get it ready for, I guess, the painting, the staining, get everything ready. As you can see, I went through at least 5 buckets of water. I do have a small bucket trying to clean this out. And you can see the dresser really should be painted. But I'm going to try to paint parts of it and spare other parts of it because my daughter does not like a painted dresser. Now looking back at it, maybe I could have did like the faux version of, you know, I forgot what they use it when they roll on like the fake wood lines, but that would require a little more investing, and honestly my daughter wasn't trying to invest too much in it. I did wind up buying handles, using my own money to get handles for her piece, so that was a little disappointing that she didn't want to help spend money to get this piece to look better than it could have looked. The color that I'm using is a mushroom beige. If you saw my past videos when I did a whitewash on these end tables, this was the color that I watered down. It was something that was used on her bedroom when we first moved there. But to me, I feel like I'm just putting the same color almost back on there because it was this white paint on there. But she likes light colors, so, you know, gotta give her what she wants. Now the piece in the back, I decided just to paint it white again. Like I said, I didn't have the soft sander to kind of get all the crevices and parts. So the parts that I could not remove all the paint to, and also they didn't essentially look good. They weren't giving the dresser any like pretty wood. I just went ahead and just covered it again with the same mushroom beige paint. I decided to go with a very dark stain. This is not special walnut, it's dark walnut. Um, I really don't use it a lot because I feel like it gives me that old school kind of look, and I always would want it to be like a little lighter wood. But with this one, I thought it could use a darker look to kind of cover up any issues. There were other tiny little veneer issues, but I thought trying to put Bondo or cover it up just would make it stand out even more. So I kind of left them alone. So I figured let me use some stencil to create some kind of decoration on the top to cover what's going on with the Bondo part with the gash. I would tell you this was a complete waste of time, and the stencil only performed the first couple of times and then it was complete trash. So no use even talking about what the stencil is. It's like a screen, it sticks to it really well. I was hopeful the first two sticks, but I should have had more of an idea in mind. I'm not really an artist. I could have maybe drew something that may have made it look a little bit better, but I didn't want to take that chance. I did have a couple of flowers there. Maybe I should have stopped and drew some green stems around, but I was just relying on the stencil too much. And I wasted a lot of time because I had to let it dry, and then I was just getting caught up with all the issues that was still happening with this piece, because I knew in my heart that it should have just been painted over, but I was killing myself trying to give my daughter more what she wanted. I would let my boyfriend see it, let her see it, try to point out the issues, but they both still wanted it to be sanded. I mean, just a stain, but I'm taking it off now because you can see some of the things didn't work out. So I just gave up on that. I knew it didn't look good, and I was just frustrated. And so I decided to go to an old standby that I've done many times before. And if you've followed my page or seen my page, you know kind of what I'm about to do. I did talk to my daughter and explain to her what I had to do. Sometimes you have pieces that have a lot of problem areas, and you kind of want the wood to show and be beautiful, but then you still got to try to cover up the areas that was just too much of a problem. And so I went to my blocking off, which if you follow some of my pages, I've blocked off and created stripes a lot of times. And sometimes I do it just to enhance a piece, but it's also something that I do to cover up a piece that just has a lot of problems and the wood is just not like good quality. I've covered up with some blocks, some kind of design. I chose, of course, the problem areas more so. And so I decided to kind of take a peek at it. It was just like last minute, kind of random. I did decide to let the piece just sit because I had so much going on, people coming over, my daughter moving, and I felt like I was just rushing. And so this is like a month later. You can see I had another piece done with the end tables, which are sold. But at this time, I was just doing the top coat on my one coat poly for the dresser drawers. At this point, I'm not gonna lie to you, I just wanted this thing out of my house and to move on. I wasn't very patient throughout the whole thing. I mean, I was working on a project that essentially seemed like my daughter couldn't care less about, and um, not making money. So I really wanted to get back to what I'm doing, making things that I enjoy and make money from it. But I decided to post this anyway because I worked on it so long and so hard, and maybe someone else will actually like how this looks. It's okay, but I definitely wouldn't have done something differently. Let me know what you think.